right, so looking at our globe, we see land and we see water. What is the land called on our globe? Samuel? Jet? Continents. And what is the water called on Earth, Adley? Oceans. Good job. Who can tell me where is the North Pole on this globe? Point to the North Pole, Maverick. The North Pole is going to be up top. Who can come and point to the South Pole? Joanna? Good. And who can point to the equator? Mary? Good. The equator is that imaginary line in the middle of our globe. So which layer, if we talk about the layers of the Earth, let's name them real quick. Ready? What's this first layer? Crust. Good. Which layer of the Earth do we live on? Chasen? The crust. Good. Now, we know that Jared the geologist said there are 3 important words to remember when studying geology. What are those 3 important words? Let's say them together. Ready? Heat, pressure, time. Good job. Now, why is heat, pressure, and time important when studying geology? Why is it important? Jet, why is it important?
Because it helps you learn about the Earth.
How does it help us learn about the Earth? It makes changes on Earth. Good job, Molly. So, we're going to learn something a little bit new today. We know that on Earth, all things on Earth can be described as either a solid, a liquid, or a gas. A solid keeps its shape. So if I was to hand you this book, it will still be a book. It will keep its shape, right? So it's a solid. Who can give me another example of a solid? Aurelie? A flag, okay. Paper. Journey? A car, okay. The next one is a liquid. Liquid do not keep their shape. It takes the shape of a container. Who can give me an example of a liquid? Mary? Soda. Samuel? Milk. Joanna? Water. Good job. And then the last one is a gas. Now, a gas, they're kind of hard to see. And they're not a solid because they cannot keep their shape. And they're not a liquid because they cannot be poured. Does anyone know another example of a gas? Journey? What do we breathe, Journey? Do you know that? Air or oxygen, right? That's a gas. Does anyone know another type of gas? Molly? Gas from behind our car is actually kind of like a liquid because we're pouring it, aren't we? Yeah, but then it turns into a gas to make our car. All right, so I want you to turn to a partner. I want you to name one example of a solid, a liquid, or a gas to your partner and tell them which one it is. What's a solid that you boys know of? What's a solid? I said a book is a solid. What else is a solid?
A bottle.
Okay. What about our table? Is that a solid? Yeah. What else could be a solid? What's this? Show a picture of Jaden.
Ice.
An ice cube, right? Yeah. Okay, who can share what they turned and talked with their partner about? Jackson. Jaden's glasses. What are Jaden's glasses? A solid, liquid, or gas?
Solid.
A solid. Good job. All right. I want you to turn your bodies to our story. Today, we are going to pretend that we can journey deep, deep into Earth, all the way to the very center, nearly 4,000 miles from where you are sitting right now. The first stop is the layer beneath the crust, which is called the mantle. Good. The mantle is a whopping 1,800 miles thick and contains most of Earth's rock. Because most of Earth is made of rock, this means that most of Earth is contained in the mantle. The mantle is mostly made of solid rock. The closer to the crust, the cooler and the harder the mantle tends to be. But as you go deeper, closer to the core, the mantle gets hotter and becomes soft and gooey. Heat closer to the core causes the rock inside the mantle to move around quite a bit. But in most places, it is still solid rather than liquid. Did we hear the word heat again? Yes. Yeah. Heat causes parts of the mantle to move around. So remember that something that's a solid keeps its shape, while something that's a liquid moves around and takes the shape of whatever it's in. The mantle surrounds the core or the center of Earth. The core has two parts, the inner core and the outer core. But it's also, the inner core is solid metal ball. The outer core is metal, but it's not solid. It is made up of melted or molten metal. If metal is molten, that means heat has changed it from a solid to a liquid. That means that deep down inside of Earth, thousands of miles beneath your feet, there's a giant sea of red, hot, molten metal surrounding a solid metal ball. So what does it mean if the inner core is solid? What does it mean? Mia?
It means it stays its shape.
Yeah, it means it does not change its shape. Good job. Scientists believe that the center of the Earth, the inner core, is actually hotter than the surface of the sun, which is a blazing 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That is really hot. So in the United States, on a hot summer day, it might be 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
So why is somebody drawing that?
It might be 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But on the inner core, it's going to be 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Which one's hotter, the first one or the second one? The second one, yeah. The inner core is much hotter than the outer core. It may seem strange, therefore, that the outer core of the Earth is molten metal, but yet the inner core in the very center of the Earth is where it's hottest. It's just a solid ball of metal, which is, by the way, a bit smaller than the moon. The reason the inner core is solid has to do with the incredible pressure on Earth's entire weight pressing inward. The more pressure that you put on something, the more heat you need to cause the thing to boil or melt. This is why the metal in the very center of Earth, the inner core, is solid instead of liquid. Despite the intense heat, there is simply too much pressure caused by the weight of the rest of the Earth, so the center of the Earth cannot melt and it remains a solid. So, did you hear the word pressure again?
Yes.
Pressure causes the inner core to be solid rather than liquid. The crust upon which we live is constantly being changed and reshaped due to heat and pressure caused by activity in Earth's mantle and core. Did you hear the word heat and pressure?
Yes.
Heat and pressure in the Earth's mantle change the Earth's crust. The St. Bernardino Mountains that you see in this picture, along with the other mountains along the west coast of North America, from Mexico to Alaska, were created by changes inside of Earth. Now remember that parts of the mantle that are closest to the core are soft and gooey. That hot, gooey material in the mantle does not always stay in the mantle. Sometimes it rises up to surface. Every so often, some of the extremely hot molten rock or magma pushes up through the mantle and forces its way into cracks and crevices in the crust. Over time, the magma collects in a magma chamber, such as the one near the bottom of the picture. The heat in the chamber releases gas from the magma, which builds up and creates pressure. The pressure builds and builds until one day, boom! Did you hear the words heat and pressure?
Yes.
Heat and pressure is what causes volcanoes to erupt. The magma erupts in the volcano of lava, ash, gas, and fire. Once it's released from the earth, the magma becomes lava, flowing liquid rock, which flows across the ground until it cools and hardens into a solid rock once again. Now tell me, what do you see in this next picture? What do you see, Stacy?
Fire.
Okay, what else might you see in this picture? Maverick?
Lava.
Lava, what's the lava coming out of?
Volcano.
A volcano, good. So now that I've told you about volcanoes, let me explain one more thing. Thanks to geologists, we have a pretty good idea when and where these geological events are likely to occur. Geologists help predict where volcanoes are most likely to occur, and this helps keep people safe by discouraging them from building homes close to dangerous areas. It's not always possible to predict when and where geological disasters will occur, but geologists work hard to give people as much warning as they can. And that is the end of our story.
So why is my jaw on this?
So, I want to ask you some questions about our story, so I want you to tiptoe to your seats quietly. Names of the layers of the earth. What is this first layer right here? The crust, good. What is this next layer? Mary?
Mantle.
Mantle. After the mantle, we have this orange layer right here. What layer is this? Chelsea? Outer. Help her out, Jason. Outer core. Good job. And what is that last layer, that yellow layer right there? What is it called? Mia? The inner core. Good job. Who can describe the mantle? Describe this red layer right here. Molly, describe the mantle. It is most of Earth, so it's not a liquid. Maverick, do you know? It has what? It has a lot of Earth's rock, yes, and it gets a lot hotter and as it gets closer to the core. Good. Now, describe the outer core for me. The outer core. Samuel? Yes, it's like molten metal, right? Good job. And then describe the inner core for me. Jet?
It's a silver little ball.
It's a solid ball of,
Liquid.
not liquid if it's a solid metal ball, right? Good. Now, why is the inner core solid rather than a liquid? So why is it a solid metal ball? Molly? Think about those 3 words. What are those 3 words? Why is it, Molly? What causes it? Yeah, the pressure causes it to be a solid metal ball. Good. Now, what causes a volcano to form? Michael, what causes a volcano to form? The what? Okay, but a little bit more detail. Add on to what Michael said. Aurelie? The gas and the heat, and it causes that magma inside of Earth, right? And then it seeps up. Now, why is it important for scientists to study volcanoes? Why should we study them? Journey, why should we study them? So we can know more about our history of Earth. Why else should we study volcanoes? Adley? Chasten?
So they can put signs up and people don't get hurt.
Yeah, so people can stay safe. You're exactly right. I want you to turn to your partners in your group. How are the crust, mantle, and core of Earth all alike? How are they alike?
They're all in the earth and stuff.
How are they alike?
The crust was like in North America.
Where are they all at?
At
Where are they all at? Where are those layers at? Inside what?
The crust.
Inside the Earth. They're all layers inside the Earth. Okay, tell me, how are the crust, mantle, and core of the Earth alike? Maverick, how are they alike? They're all part of the inside of the Earth, and they're all different what? Was that word we had yesterday? Not stack. Aurelie? They're all different layers inside the Earth. Good job. Now, turn back to your partner. Tell them, how are the crust, mantle, and core different? So some are really hot, and that causes them to be what, Maverick? Oh, yeah, so some are solid and some are liquid. Good. What did you guys say? How are they different?
They're all different colors.
Well, not really. They could be all different colors. That helps us decide, but we know that the inside, the inner core is yellow, and it's yellow because it's a what?
Solid.
Solid. Are they all solids?
No.
So some are,
Solid.
and some are. Good. Okay. How are they different? Adley, how are they different?
Because some are solid and some are liquid.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Good job. Okay, now looking at our screen, we read heat closer to the core causes the rock inside the mantle to move around quite a bit. But in most places, it's still solid rather than liquid. Everyone say the word solid.
Solid.
If something is a solid, it keeps its shape. It was so cold outside last night that the water puddle became solid ice. What things have you seen that are a solid? Try to use the word solid when you tell me about it. Mia. Wood is a solid. Good. Tell me something else. Molly? Ice is a solid. Good. What's the word we're talking about?
Solid.
Okay. I want you to tell me that is a solid with a thumbs up or that is not a solid. Okay? Show me that is a solid. Show me that is not a solid. Okay. A book. Good. Milk. Good. It's not a solid. Water. desk. And a shoe. Good. And steam coming off of a hot bowl of soup. Good job. What word is this right here? And. And is a conjunction. Conjunctions are kind of words that we use to connect words and phrases. So we use the conjunction to join words and phrases that share similar ideas or ideas that are alike. So I want you to listen to this about the earth layers from our read aloud. The first stop is the layer beneath the crust, which is called the mantle. The mantle is a whopping 1,800 miles thick and contains most of Earth's rock. The closer to the crust, the cooler and harder the mantle tends to be. But as you go deeper, closer to the core, the mantle gets hotter and becomes soft and gooey. So notice that in that paragraph, Jared the geologist uses the word and when he talks about two facts or ideas that are both about the mantle. The word and helps us not repeat the word mantle over and over again. So look at these two sentences. David plays soccer. David plays basketball. I can change the sentence to David plays soccer and basketball. That way I don't have to say David plays again. I want you to try to change this sentence using the conjunction and. I have milk after school. I have cookies after school. How can we change the sentence to use the conjunction and? Journey? Very good job. With a partner, I want you to discuss two things that you are going to do after school, and I want you to use the conjunction and.
After school, I'm going to play.
Go ahead.
After school, I will eat macaroni and cheese.
Okay, but eat macaroni and cheese, and what else will you do? Will you eat something else?
Cookies.
And cookies. There you go. Maverick?
After school, I will play my iPad too and play basketball.
And play basketball. Good. What was your guys' sentence, Stacy?
I said, after school, going to watch a show and go to church.
And go to church. Good. All right, who can share their sentence using and? Go ahead, Samuel. I will lay on my bed and play Roblox after school. Good job. Okay, now I want you to get out your school boxes for me. All right, so this activity page shows the different layers of our earth. Now, let's look at this very first layer. What is this layer called? Crust. Crust is on the outside. I want you to pick up your brown crayon and color just the crust brown. You can borrow a friend's. Mm-hmm. Okay, just sit down and when he gets finished, here, use this. Just use your brown marker.
Okay.
Just the crust. There. Good. Not yet. Now I want you to point to the mantle on your paper. Point to the mantle. Jackson, point to the mantle on your paper. Good. I want you to color the mantle red with your red crayon. So color. Can I see your red crayon? You're going to color right here. Okay. So finish coloring that. And then your crust was this outside edge right here. Like that. Now your mantle's right here. Yeah. Use your red marker. Okay. I got it ready for you. Color this section red. Now I want you to point to the outer core. The outer core, you are going to color it orange. So you can go ahead and color the outer core orange. Here's a red for you to use for the mantle. You can, yes. I just didn't do it on mine, but yeah. The last layer, point to the inner core. Point to the inner core. Color the inner core yellow. Color the inner core yellow. Good. Now, who can tell me which layer is the hottest? Which layer's the hottest? Chelsea?
The red one?
Not the red
I
one.
know.
Joanna?
The yellow one?
The yellow one. Good. The inner core is the hottest. Which layer is cooler near the crust but hotter near the core? Molly? The mantle. Good job. So what you are going to do to finish your activity page is you have the words down here at the bottom. Crust, mantle, outer core, inner core. You are going to cut those words out and glue them to the colors that they belong in. Finish cutting them out. I want you to flip your paper over to the back, and I want you to write me 2 sentences. You're going to write me 2 sentences about Earth's layers. You can pick which 2 layers to write about. The crust, the mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. That's after you finish cutting out your labels. How many sentences? 2. Go ahead and get started. I need some scissors. Can you just wait to borrow some friends? Okay. Okay, good, Maverick. What does that say? Inner core. Where's the inner core?
Oh.
The yellow. So you're going to glue it right there where it says yellow. Good. Good job. Hey, Jet, real quick. So it has arrows going to it. So look, crust goes right here for the brown arrow. There you go. Good job, Samuel. Crust for me. Good. So you're going to glue it right there. Okay. Now flip it over to the back. And it's not 10,000 degrees because could we live there?
No.
No. So it is. The crust is where what? Layers. Is it on the inside?
Outside?
It's on the outside. Why is it the outside? The crust is the outside because it's what?
Because Because it's brown?
Because it's brown and it's where, who lives there? Oh, really? Who lives on the crust?
Us.
Us. That's where people live, right? So the crust is the outside. I've already read it 3 times. I want you to take a picture.